Welcome to the Whiska Chicks podcast, where Amy and Susie are two sisters that banter about random, relatable topics. What is a Whiska Chick? Well, it's a term our beloved Nana used for anything random, so instead of saying thingamajig or doodad, she would say Whiska Chick. We are here to have fun, a lot of laughs, and to spread joy and mindfulness. Give a listen. You may learn something or have an aha moment or two. We dedicate this creative endeavor to our Nana, whose most powerful saying was, be true to yourself. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whiska Chicks podcast. I'm Susie.
And I'm Amy.
And here we are, episode 39? I think it's 39.
It is 39, I believe.
I'm not sure, but... So, we here at Whiska Chicks, we like to share a lot of personal things that we've been through that we actually draw a lot of our episodes from, our content, if you will. And we don't really plan this stuff far out. It's normally It's normally stuff that is currently going on, or if one of us has a wild idea, we're like, oh. So, but the topic of this episode is hitting close to the bone, both for Amy and I, because we've both been having these experiences, recently or as of late. But today we want to talk about, again, we try to give you more content for being more mindful about how you navigate life and maybe recognizing opportunities you might have where you get triggered on how to move forward with things. I mean, hence our respond react episode. I don't know, we just go down the list of episodes, people, you'll find something. But today we want to talk about breakdowns to breakthroughs.
Yep.
Do you want to explain what that is? Or
Sure.
Here's where you get academic on me.
It's I know.
Your job.
Yeah. All right. So first of all, we did not coin this term, breakdown to breakthrough. There's actually quite a lot of literature out there on that, and it is a psychological a subject for psychological discussion, but it's an important concept because it's a pivotal moment when you can actually transform a crisis into a moment of growth with resilience and then success. Now, the breakdown part of it is it doesn't have to be like 2 minutes. It can be going on for months. I mean, it just kind of depends on how resistant you are to what's causing the breakdown, and then pushing forward to have a breakthrough and evolve and learn from that breakdown. So I think the moment just a little while ago before we got on, one of my all-time favorite movies is Eat, Pray, Love. And I read the book too. There's a line in both the movie and the book where in the movie, it's in the Italy part. She's in Rome and she's standing in these ruins, like the bowels of these ancient ruins in Rome. And, she's going through, dialogue in her head and all that. And she says at the end of it, ruin is the road to transformation, because she's making an analogy between ancient Rome and the ruins of Rome, and how just all of the battles and everything that happened to create those ruins, which then culminated in transformation of a civilization, right? But then she's relating it back to herself. So I think the breakdown to breakthrough, it's summed up beautifully by ruin is the road to transformation, because in the moment of the breakdown, you do feel ruined. And I know Susie and I have both been through that, and it involves, a lot of ugly crying and isolating and But it's essentially, as you go through something like this, it's super important to change the narrative. You're not failing. You're moving forward toward actionable lessons, right? And then learning something from it all. So how's that? Why don't you want to say something
That's
now?
great. No, that's why I turned to you for the that all of that. Because you say like the the academic stuff, and then I come in with some type of badum or something on there. But no, what I was going to say is that was that was a great reference to the ruins, and they're still standing. So there's
right.
But I was looking up some stuff online just for like, of course you look up like breakdown and it talks about like engine failure, and I'm like, well, it's kind of your engine is kind of taking a temporary shit. I mean, but mental emotional collapse, losing emotional control because you're analyzing something in detail. It's like, sometimes it feels like hitting a wall. And, as you have said numerous times, we are human beings, not human doings. Doings. And, it all relates back. Everything is cyclical here with our episodes. You go back to the 4 agreements where it's like something, so you feel like something pushes you into this breakdown mode, and you get, again, like, pour me humble pie, pour me pudding. Was an episode?
I think
we talk about all this.
Oh my
stuff,
God, I forgot about that. The pie and the pudding.
Moments, exactly. I have all these moments from like, oh my God, poor me. Everybody hates me. But I'm like, wait a minute. That's not who you are anymore. You've come so far, Susie. Don't backslide now. So it's just a gentle reminder that, when we have these breakdowns, and I had one like literally last week, leaning over a chair, ugly crying, wah, wah, wah. It was bad. It gave me a horrible headache. I couldn't do anything the rest of the day. And I had reached out to Amy and I have a mutual person that we use for some intuitive counseling and guidance for spiritual stuff. And she said something very profound, like in one sentence. And she was like, this is all very cathartic. And of course, me being me, I had to look up that word. And
I know what it means.
What's cathartic mean? Yeah, but so it's literally like making space. It's making space for what is in alignment for me and what is for my highest good to come in. So in that sense, a breakdown is fantastic, but you have to get through the initial like, Jesus, what is happening to me right now?
It's a cleansing. It's literally a cleansing. And it's funny because breakdown and breakthrough, they're kind of really one and the same thing. However, when we hear the word breakdown, there's fear around that, and then breakthrough, there's celebration, right? But they're really one and the same thing. I mean, a breakdown is a gift because it leads you to the breakthrough. And the longer we resist the breakdown, the longer it takes us to get to that breakthrough and whatever lessons we're being obliged to learn. And I know not long ago, about a year ago or so now, I had a huge one, and I kept calling it, I didn't put it as a breakdown, but I kept calling it tornadoes. I was going through a lot of tornadoes. I mean, that's what it felt like. I watched that the other day. So for those of you who don't recognize the music, it's The Wizard of Oz. But where Elvira Gulch is riding her bike through the tornado. Anyway, I digress. But that's what it felt. It was like this, I was getting sucked into this vortex, and it's like, what in the world is happening to me? It was like challenging me to look at all the decisions I'd made and pull me back into realignment. And at first I was like, yeah, but. I was full of yeah buts. But then when I finally took a deep breath and just let it be what it was and acknowledge that, the decisions I'd made and where I had come was just a part of my journey to get me to the next breakthrough. So, but it was like months of really just isolating, crying, and just reconciling a number of things. So it can be, it is extreme. It is very cathartic. It's very cleansing if you allow it to be, and don't resist it,
And I think that's what we're so conditioned to do, is resist these breakdowns, especially with however we were raised or domesticated, however you want to say that. I mean, we are, as children, just these little balls of clay. And, I think sometimes, you get to a point where you're like, I may have been raised this way, but it's not actually what's in alignment with my soul. And depending on what you believe in, I mean, Amy and I are very spiritual people, and I believe most of the people that listen to this podcast are. You want to make sure you're honoring the journey of your soul. And so just because you've known one thing up to a point, if you hit these walls or question these values that you've been taught, it's a really good indication that you might need to shift something that's more in aligned with who you are. Now you're free to do that.
The other thing we say here in this podcast is shift happens, right?
It does. Big shift happens. So when I looked up breakthrough, which I love this, it was a sudden, significant advance, discovery, or solution to a major problem, often overcoming a long-standing obstacle. And there was this list of synonyms that I saw for it, and it actually made me so excited that I saved it for like this breakthrough. So, I mean, you put these words in your mind when you're ugly crying and you need to get that out. It's like your head's spinning around and green shit's coming out of your mouth. Like, you got to exercise. You have to have that anger emotion. That was an Exorcist reference for all you Gen Xers. You have to have that. You have to have that process of anger and grief and processing in order to see what is on the other side of that. You can't take that with you into the advancement. So, and that was one of the words: advancement, discovery, innovation, breakthrough, quantum leaping, solution, development, progress. So when you think of having that breakdown, think of what is on the other side of that. And then it seems okay. It's like,
yeah,
it feels like going to the bathroom sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's cleansing.
You got to get that shit out.
You got to get that, exactly, literally and otherwise. But I think too, where the breakdown component is concerned, there's an element of control, and I think the longer we resist, the more the more what's the word I'm looking for? During a breakdown, usually it's due to, you had your sight set on a specific outcome. You expected something. It's what you wanted, but it may not be what the universe wants for you. It may not be a part of your soul's plan. So you get to a point where you feel powerless now over the outcome you're trying to create, and you're so exhausted, you have no choice but just to accept the circumstances. And that's kind of what fuels the breakdown. You're accepting the fact that you just need to let go, let it all go, have your catharsis, and break through. So the more we can allow, the easier these breakdowns will be, and the quicker the breakthroughs will come. Because if you resist and resist and resist and resist and keep pushing and trying to control, and the universe is trying to take you down another path, it's just going to make it worse. So it's a process about allowing, to believing and allowing and having faith that the universe has your back. That's another, we love to say that around here too.
I did notice when I had my breakdown last week that literally it was like freaking Jekyll and Hyde. The next day I was like, okay, let's go. Then me 10 years ago would have still been like Nancy Kerrigan, like, why for like a month, So,
for all you Gen Xers know about that one too.
Just look it up. It's the whole thing.
Look, if you've seen Tanya, the movie, Tanya Harding, the movie about her, I think it's called
I, Tanya.
I, Tanya. That's that whole thing.
Tanya. Yeah. It was funny when you messaged me earlier today because we had agreed on a time to record, and you were like, hey, can we, this time, ? And I was like, sure. So I was in the car coming home, and I wasn't listening to any music or anything. And I was thinking about what we were going to talk about today. And this is going to sound cheesy as hell. I don't care. Take it as you will.
Cheesy.
But the song that came into my head, and I do not like her. I never have liked her. Even when she was popular, I did not like her. Anybody listening to this podcast that I worked with in my last job in the grocery store will know, because we heard I Want to Dance with Somebody like 25 times a day. Like, we had to have therapy in the break room over it. Okay, but it's the Whitney Houston song, The Greatest Love of All. That song popped into my head because the lyrics to that song, and then I just started singing it, and then I couldn't sing because I was not ugly crying, but I was getting emotional because, a lot of this stuff stems from your inner child when you have these experiences. Like, I feel like we're always going to want to, sometimes when I'm having an experience like this, I imagine, like, if I was witnessing like my 12-year-old self going through this, what would I say to her? What would I say to her? How would I nurture that to get her through that? And then this song pops into my head. And the lyrics are so profound. Like, I just, I'm not going to sing, obviously, but you can Google the lyrics.
Better than me
them.
Singing.
But oh, come on now. But yeah, I was just like, wait, why is this song in my head? Wait, why am I singing this song? I'm like, because it's relevant. That's the song I would sing to my inner child, like, literally.
Yeah.
Just
the greatest love of all. Because it's about, and we've said this before on other podcast episodes, that the most profound and most important relationship and love you will ever have in this life is with yourself. And that is the greatest love of all. It's the love of yourself, the love you have for yourself and your journey and your experience while you're here on earth.
Now I kind of want to read some of the lyrics. Is that lame? Should I not do that?
No, I mean, pull some out. It's relevant. Remember?
I'm going to read them, but don't sing it. Don't hear the song while I read this, okay? So, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs, a lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. So, and then it's, I decided long ago, just kidding, never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me, and I found the greatest love of all inside of me.
Yeah,
that's like,
totally
I'm sorry,
relevant.
Rest her soul, Whitney Houston. And she didn't go out gracefully. I'm sorry to say that, but that song, holy cow!
That wasn't an original by her, was it? I think someone else wrote it.
No way, really?
I think so.
Oh no, that
Google
makes me
it.
sad. Are we both going to Google this right now?
It's the race is
you guys,
on.
This is live. Did Whitney Whitney Houston, right? The greatest love of all. If anybody knows this, sorry if we're torturing you. Right, the greatest love of all. There we go. Let's see what it says.
No,
she did not.
See, I thought so. Who did?
It was written by Michael Masser and Linda Creed.
Who originally performed it?
By George Benson.
That's what I thought.
1977.
That's what I thought.
Crap. Okay, then I'm switching my vote from Whitney Houston to George Benson because I would rather listen to him. Yeah,
I thought so because I remember him singing that song, and I didn't want to say anything because I didn't know who came first. But yeah, it's a remake, so you don't have to torture yourself with Whitney Houston. I'm sorry, that came out wrong.
Who came first, the George or the Whitney? Now,
in this case, the George.
People, you can't say you didn't learn anything today because you're learning something from us, maybe. But now you know that about Whitney Houston because, like I said, I have never liked her. Never.
That is,
and our mom has always been obsessed with George Benson, so we were very familiar with him. Yep. Yeah, that and Kenny G. Oh, Kenny G. We're getting off topic. Anyway,
we are.
So I know, but that's what we do. So anyway, breakdowns are a necessary. I'm not going to say evil. They are necessary for your growth and your evolution.
Yep.
Not only do they help you eliminate what's not for your highest good and create space simultaneously for what is meant for your highest good and what's in alignment for you according to the universe, but it's literally like how we learn how to navigate life. It teaches us how to be grateful for the breakdowns, be grateful for the breakthroughs, be grateful for anything that happens to you because it's meant to be happening to you. It's not a personal attack. So I often find that when I have a breakdown, especially like the one I had last week, because it specifically involves something I am so challenged with as a Gen Xer because it involves technology and computer programs and all this shit. I don't know anything about that. But I needed to have that breakdown because now I have more clarity. And I was going to give up on it. I was going to be like, screw it. I don't want to do it. I'm done. Bleh. And then I was like, wait a minute. Slow down. Are you missing something here? And I was. So I found another pathway to help me, to guide me to get there. And I'm not going to give up on it. Yeah.
Breakdowns are often, especially around big significant life changes and whatnot. We talk a lot about astrology here on this podcast, and we've said before that the your natal astrology chart is your blueprint that you came in with in this lifetime. And if you study your chart, any of you out there, if you've done this, it will reveal some areas where you do need to have major breakdowns so that you can break through and learn what you're supposed to learn in this lifetime. Because there are some doozies. There are like what Susie said, like the other day with the technology and whatnot. But then there are breakdowns as it relates to relationships and family and just life experiences and stuff like that. And the more you break down and break through, the more you evolve and the more you clear the karma you came in with, especially when it's the breakdowns that are centered around major life changes and circumstances. So don't resist them. Because on the other end of it, the breakthrough is a test of faith and giving it to the universe, right? So the less you resist and the more you allow that breakthrough to happen, the more things will open up to you and they'll reveal themselves because now you're allowing and you're doing what you're supposed to do. The breakthroughs are super important.
They are totally important. Something, I think we're going to wrap this up in a second, but I have something funny to tell you. What a little while ago when I was talking about what we have a mutual person that we use for intuitive guidance, this message popped up on my computer from her.
Oh, really?
I was trying not to laugh, and so while you were talking, I was messaging her on Instagram, and I was like, Amy and I are literally recording right now. And I just mentioned you as I was talking about her, like, it popped up, and I'm like, but I didn't mention your name, and she was like, you can totally mention my name. Should we mention her name?
We should, because she's amazing.
We should. She's amazing. She's amazing.
She is.
You want to, you connected me to her, so you mention her.
Her name is Branya Benvin, and she's in Australia, and she is the most beautiful human being and extremely intuitive, very just articulate. I just love Branya. And her business is called Wild Lotus Tarot. So it's wildlotustarot.com, and she offers readings. And I love her readings because she does them over YouTube. So they're not live. You send her questions, you do like an intake form, and then she records a YouTube video and sends it to you. So you're watching her doing the reading. You've got your eyes on her, and she's just so good at what she does. She does a lot of other things too, but the little, I read with her probably once a month, usually on the full moon. I don't know why. It just seems to time out that way for me. Instinctively, I want to read on the full moon. But Branya, she's amazing.
Yeah, she is. And it's funny because I went ahead and said, let's mention her, because I messaged her and I was like, can I mention your Instagram page? And she was like, absolutely. And then she was like, make sure you tell Amy I was there with you. And I'm like, I just did hear you're in the episode with us right now. But anyway, it's amazing. I think technology is amazing that I'm in Vancouver, Washington State, and she's in I think she's in Melbourne, Australia, like 17 hours ahead or next day or whatever. And we're just like, la, 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 texting. I think that's so cool. Technology is cool that way.
I was just going to say, you're a second ago, that's your breakthrough talking. Technology is cool. Because before it was kind of like, because before it was like, hey, technology,
Totally.
Anyway.
But it's, and some of these breakthroughs or breakdowns, I want to say before we go, they involve fear, right? We're afraid.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And that's totally. A lot of fear will sometimes fuel all these emotions, and it brings up all this other shit. But and that's, to me, is just a clear sign that you need to get it out. You need to you need to just get it out, like cleanse it out of yourself. It's the universe and your soul trying to guide you where you really need to be, and you just need to flow with that crap. I'm telling you.
Yep.
So
for sure.
Anyway, for sure. But Branya is someone that, I mean, she's completely relatable. She's amazing. And she has literally changed my life in the last couple of months. So, and yeah, she's a beautiful soul. Someone textbook took all the chances and is living her dharma, and she's becoming very successful. And it's so fun to be on the journey with her.
I was just going to say, she had a major breakdown and breakthrough. And now she's living, as Susie said, her dharma. She is running this business. She never thought in a million years she would leave the corporate world and do this. But it was because of a breakdown and a breakthrough that she's like the poster child of breakdown and breakthrough, especially when it comes to living your dharma. Give her a follow. This podcast was not meant to be a plug for her. It just kind of came up organically, but she's an amazing human. So, and I've been working with her for almost 3 years now. So she's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not, I don't feel like we're plugging her. I feel like we're giving credit where credit is due. I mean,
True. Absolutely.
I haven't used her nearly as long as you have, but in the short amount of time I have used her guidance, I can't think of using anyone else. It just, I feel a connection with her, and she's just wonderful. So, I think I can actually I think I can put her website in the episode notes of the podcast if anybody forgot what we said earlier, and you guys can click
good
on that
idea.
and check her out.
Good idea.
Yeah, great idea.
Great idea,
Anyway.
Susie.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah.
Do you like have any homework for everybody?
Like, I don't know. Just that if any of you are experiencing the breakdown phase right now, just allow it to happen. Know the breakthroughs on the other side. Ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn from this? And just, if you're going through it right now, just remember that ruin is the road to transformation. We can't get better until we get worse.
I love that. Anyway, let's end it there today, kids.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for being with us today. I will, like I said, I'll put Branya's website link in the episode notes of the podcast. Also stay tuned. Very, very, very soon, we're going to have swag for the podcast available on Etsy. This is part of the technology that I had a breakdown about. So, anywho's, until next time, we know what old Nana would say.
Be true to yourself.